Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with the last Pumpkinhead movie review video. I figured I would go ahead and do Pumpkinhead 3 and 4 in the exact same video just to wrap up the franchise, since this is a pretty easy franchise to review since each movie is pretty much the same thing except for maybe Blood Wings, the second film. With Pumpkinhead 3 and 4 you got Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes and Pumpkinhead Blood Feud. I believe they were filmed like back to back, straight to Sci-Fi Channel movies, which is a bad sign. Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes, I'll go ahead and give my rating and give it 1.5 out of 4. It does suck, but it does have some good things in it. Number one, Doug Bradley, who plays Pinhead, or played Pinhead for most of the movies, is the villain. That was cool. He does a good job here. They bring back the Wallace family, like the kids from the original film. That was neat, but they like totally altered their characters. Here they're all like assholes, and I know people can get worse when they get older or whatever, but it felt like in the first film with all the hillbilly like countryside and everything, the people were more, I don't know, were more honorable, that they wouldn't really grow up to be something like this, that they, had more respect for each other. But anyway, and the character Bud Wallace comes back, he was not super bright in the first movie, but he was kind of savvy, you could tell. And this one, he's just a total moron. He's played by a totally different actor. It looks nothing like him. I don't know why I just didn't get the original guy. But anyway, so the story of the film is Doug Bradley and the Wallace kids are harvesting like organs and stuff like that and everything, and from people who die and not even burying the bodies, but like dumping them out in swamps. And they get this one guy who sees them, and they like harvest his organs. The dude manages to get away and alerts the police, and they arrest them all except for Doug Bradley and like one or two other people that they didn't catch. And some of the townspeople who had family members there go to the witch, who isn't played as well by this new actress, and they summon Pumpkinhead. Since it's a group of people this time, Pumpkinhead is much larger, which was cool, but I don't like the new design. He doesn't look bad. He is practical. He doesn't look bad, but he doesn't look amazing or great like the original Pumpkinhead. He doesn't even look as good as the Pumpkinhead from Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings. He's okay. For the most part, the effects in the film are fine, but there's some really atrocious CGI. Like when Pumpkinhead breaks into this church, it looks like a Sega video game. He crushes this one dude's head. You get some good gore. Slits most people open with his finger and claw nails. He stabs his claw nail like through this chick who's like the Wallace girl. She's like one of the main villains. She's pretty much screws Doug Bradley, and he gives her drugs to keep her docile. That was a pretty neat kill. One interesting thing they bring up here is they want to try to right the wrong themselves by cremating all the bodies and seeing if that'll get rid of Pumpkinhead, the people who summoned him do. And it doesn't work, but that would have been a cool idea and a new way for them to get rid of Pumpkinhead. I mean, that's one of the problems with these sequels. They don't really add anything to Pumpkinhead. I mean, 2 goes in a totally different direction, but so far to the point where it's not even really a Pumpkinhead movie. This one and 4, they also bring back Lance Henriksen, but he doesn't really do much. He does more in 4 than he does here. Here he's just more like just a pop-up ghost for boo scares. Anyway, you get Doug Bradley goes around and like killing the summoners, which was kind of cool. He's smart. He wants to take the people out to get rid of Pumpkinhead. He's the last one that gets killed. He gets a tail through his back with some bad CGI. But anyway, the last summoner decides to kill herself to prevent the Pumpkinhead creature from killing Bud and her ex-boyfriend, I guess, or whatever this one dude was. So Pumpkinhead dies like that. The witch shows back up, takes the body of the girl now, and she's going to be the new Pumpkinhead, like how Ed Harley became Pumpkinhead. And Ed Harley's body in this film is shown as the vessel for the new Pumpkinhead, which was kind of neat. The terrible, like if this movie was all practical, I would probably be more lenient on it and be like, it's a passable movie. But it's the really bad CGI that hurts this film. If someone was to do like a re-edit of this flick and just like take out all the terrible CGI scenes, this film would be better. It would be passable instead of just suck. And the movie ends with the witch burying the new girl or whatever, who's going to be the new Pumpkinhead. And it's a close-up of her necklace, like Ed Harley's thing, his necklace that he had in the original movie. Call back to that, and that was kind of cool. But yeah, all in all, this film sucks. It's just terrible CGI. There's so many summoners here that you don't get enough time to like really develop them like you did Ed Harley's character in the original. So you don't really have much impact with them. The villains are mostly dumb hillbillies except for Doug Bradley, who was cool. The guy who plays the grown-up Bud Wallace, he's not that great. He makes really silly faces. He makes a really silly face at the end when he gets shot. He's like, oh! It's kind of stupid. it does feel like a TV film, but I don't even mean that in a bad way. I'm okay with low budget TV horror as long as it can have atmosphere. The atmosphere of the first one was not to be found here. All in all, this was an interesting effort, but it just doesn't cut the mustard. It does suck. Pumpkinhead Blood Feud is better. It's better acted by the main leads. Some of the side characters aren't that great, or what you would expect in kind of a low budget B movie. But the main leads are not bad, really. They're actually good. Like the main guy who is in love with this girl, and the girl, they're both good. Pretty much a Hatfields and McCoy story about the Hatfields and McCoys. One guy from one side of a family is feuding with the other, is in love with a girl from the other side. It's basic setup we've seen 1,000 times. His little sister almost gets raped and ends up getting killed by these two boys from the other family from the Hatfields. He summons Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead goes on an ass whooping spree. But what's weird in this one is Pumpkinhead is supposed to only kill the people who are responsible for the crime, right? Like the people who actually did it. But he kills those two guys like way early and just like keeps killing the Hatfield family just like nonstop. I guess you could say it's because the boy said when he was getting Pumpkinhead summoned or whatever, he was like, just make it for where me and this girl can be together. I guess that's what the explanation is. But at the same time, it's like, eh. But anyway. So he kills all those people, and Lance Henriksen shows back up. He does a better job here, and he's used better here. He doesn't really do much else, but here, instead of just being like a boo ghost, he's pretty much there, you know, telling people this is going to screw your life up, don't do it. One interesting thing is that one of the guys who's the sheriff in the movie was a dude from the beginning of this movie who ran into Pumpkinhead. He had accidentally killed somebody in a hit and run, I believe, and had it covered up. And Lance Henriksen keeps telling him that it's not over. Pumpkinhead will be back one day and claim your soul or kill you or whatever. And he keeps making it seem like Pumpkinhead's going to find him one way or another. And I'm like, well, no, not really. The guy killed the dude who summoned Pumpkinhead after him at the beginning of the movie. And it's like 20 years later, and now he's the sheriff. All he has to do is like leave town, and no matter if Pumpkinhead gets summoned again or not, he's never going to find him. He could just go live his life. But the way Lance Henriksen makes it seem is like Pumpkinhead's going to get you no matter what, and that's not true at all. Like the people from the first movie who got away, Pumpkinhead's never came back after them. They're totally fine. I didn't get that at all. But anyway, you get to the end. The main dude, of course, sacrifices himself and dies, sees the wrong of his ways, just like in every Pumpkinhead movie. He decides to kill himself along with Pumpkinhead, drags him down to a well. It's an okay scene. The directing here is better if you can get past the fact that it's like TV quality for some of the special effects and stuff. The bad CGI from the last movie isn't really here. It's in like maybe one scene. It's a real quick glance. For here, for like the whole movie almost, it's almost all practical, which I appreciated. But yeah, all in all, this flick is a passable film. I'd give it a low 2 stars. It's passable. It's not a bad movie. It's slightly weaker than part 2. If you have like nothing else on and you're a big Pumpkinhead fan, you could watch it. I can see maybe some hardcore Pumpkinhead fans getting some enjoyment out of this flick. But Pumpkinhead as a franchise is one that's kind of not really met its potential. They haven't really added anything much to the mythology. Like, I wouldn't mind if they did like a reboot where it ignored all the sequels and was a kind of a real direct sequel to the first movie with a much higher budget. Or was a direct sequel to the first movie with a higher budget. That would probably be better than just doing another sequel. But anyway, for Pumpkinhead 1, a great film. I don't think it's a horror classic, but I do think it's a great horror film. Pumpkinhead 2 is passable, time waster, monster flick. Pumpkinhead 3 sucks. This one, Pumpkinhead 4, Blood Feud, is passable, slightly weaker than part 2. Time waster, there's nothing else like on. I wouldn't recommend buying it unless you're a completist or just like a big Pumpkinhead fan. But yeah, all in all, I'll see you guys again with the next review.